The night falls, and suddenly the walls feel like they're closing in. Do you feel that unsettling presence when darkness envelops your home? This feeling isn't uncommon. So many of us have tossed and turned, plagued by the unease that creeps in after sunset. You might lie awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling the weight of shadows that seem to breathe, leaving you restless and anxious. It's a palpable tension, isn't it? A gnawing sensation that something lurks just beyond your awareness. But here's the truth. It's time to take back your peace. As we navigate this world filled with noise, social networks that bombard us with anxiety-inducing headlines, and the relentless pressures from work, it's all too easy for fear to seep into our homes. Yet we possess the tools to reclaim our sanctuaries. Let's break this cycle together.
I encourage you to subscribe for more insights and drop a quick comment on where you're tuned in from. Confidence in your personal space can be restored. You deserve to rest without worry, to sleep deeply, and awaken refreshed. The promise of peace is not just an abstract concept. It's available for you to claim. As we embark on this journey, I invite you to reflect. Have you ever stopped to think about what darkness truly means in your life? Where does this fit into your routine, and how can we dismantle this unsettling presence together? Your home should be a sanctuary, a place where you can be yourself, free from fear. Let's find out how to weave the threads of faith back into the fabric of our nights, starting now. When I lie down, I will not be afraid. When I lie down, my sleep will be sweet. This powerful promise from Proverbs 3:24 is not just a soothing mantra. It's a declaration of faith. It provides hope for those weary of restless nights who lie awake clamoring for peace while shadows dance in the corners of their minds. Can you feel the weight of this promise? The potential it holds to transform your nighttime experience from one of fear to comfort. As Ripperger teaches, the scriptures are not merely ancient texts filled with religious teachings. They are living words that offer guidance and security in our modern lives. In a world awash with anxiety, this verse serves as a lifeline, reminding us of the true authority we have as believers over the forces that seek to disturb our solitude. We must lean into this authority, reclaiming not only our nights, but also the sanctity of our entire living space. Are you ready to embrace that assurance? Reflect on the last time you felt truly at peace when lying down. How liberating that experience was. Can you picture a night where your mind is at rest, where calmness permeates every corner of your home, driving out the spirits of anxiety and fear? In moments of unrest, it's crucial to turn back to this promise, anchoring our faith in God's unwavering protection. As Ripperger emphasizes, we must actively engage in spiritual warfare, understanding that we have the authority to safeguard our homes against unseen invaders. Let's cultivate that sense of divine security, reminding ourselves that we don't have to be slaves to our fears. As you consider this verse, I ask you, where in your life can God's promise reshape your understanding of peace? Let's dive deeper into reclaiming the comfort of our sanctuaries together.
This is the start of a journey toward restful nights filled with the assurance that God's protection envelops us, allowing every moment of stillness to be truly sweet. Let's dive deeper into the very symptoms of unease that often plague us. Have you ever had that unsettling feeling creep over you as dusk gives way to night? The noise of your home transforming into an echo chamber of your worries. At times, the quiet can amplify the swirling thoughts, making one feel vulnerable under the cloak of darkness. You probably recall those nights when you couldn't shake the feeling that something or someone was watching you. Those feelings are not mere figments of your imagination. They are the results of living in a world filled with unseen forces that frequently assault our peace. Our lives are inundated with stressors. The pervasive influence of social media, the ever-present deadlines and obligations at work,
not to mention the turbulent emotions that can arise in our familial relationships. We often overlook how these pressures can manifest as unrest in our homes, empowering fear to occupy places that should be reserved for serenity. Isn't it alarming how easily anxiety can seep into our lives, sowing discord in the very sanctuaries designed for rest? Ripperger teaches that recognizing these symptoms is critical, as awareness is the first step to addressing what disturbs our peace. When we acknowledge the discomfort, we open ourselves to the opportunity for healing. One powerful and freeing realization is that we are not powerless. In Ephesians 6, the Bible instructs us to put on the full armor of God. This scriptural armor is not just for physical battles, but for spiritual warfare as well. Ripperger painstakingly emphasizes that we have the authority to combat these unseen influences through faith. You may ask yourself, but how do I wield this authority in my day-to-day life? First, let's create a connection to practical applications. Imagine crafting a nightly ritual to reinforce the peace of your home. It might be as straightforward as lighting a candle and taking a moment to recite affirmations of faith. Picture saying a nightly prayer filled with a fervent request for divine protection, inviting God's peace to fill every nook and cranny of your home. Heavenly Father, as I lay my head to rest, I ask for your divine protection over my home. May your peace envelop every room, driving out any spirit of fear that seeks to disrupt my sanctuary. This simple prayer acknowledges the presence of fear while inviting in God's peace, creating a tangible shift in the atmosphere of your home. Moreover, Ripperger emphasizes the necessity of incorporating ritual into our spiritual practices. Repeating actions, such as saying this prayer nightly, creates an environment that strengthens our awareness of God's love and protection. Imagine the empowerment that comes from consistently reinforcing your faith in this way. Wouldn't it be liberating to know that each night you're actively defending your sanctuary? As you contemplate the impact of this nightly routine, consider a transformative question. How may integrating prayer into your routine affect your perspective on the peace in your home? In moments when anxiety creeps in, that moment of prayerful reflection can serve as a balm for your spirit, continually inviting peace into your experience. The actions you take should be proactive, creating a spiritual fortress for you and your family. Throughout our lives, we face myriad challenges, both internal and external. Just last week, did you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., wrestling with worries about work deadlines or family dynamics? This fight for peace is real, and it's crucial to equip ourselves against it. The enemy uses many tactics to unsettle our spirits, but we are armed with unwavering faith and divine promises. But this journey isn't just about seeking personal peace. It's about creating an environment conducive to harmony for everyone in your household. Every time you take a stand for your peace and encourage others to join you, you're not just defending your territory, you're deploying a ripple effect of calm. And let's not forget, engaging with others in your community can also bolster this practice. Have you ever sought the counsel of a trusted friend or spiritual leader during times of stress? Community plays an essential role in sustaining our faith and reinforcing our journey toward peace. By sharing, we often discover that we're not alone in these struggles. Misery loves company, but so does hope. As you think about these ideas, I encourage you to reflect. In what ways can you proactively invite peace into your environment? What small yet meaningful actions can you incorporate into your life to reinforce the spiritual armor that protects your home? By recognizing the symptoms of unease, standing firm in the knowledge of biblical authority, and creating a nightly routine steeped in faith, you can reclaim your peace. You're not merely surviving each night. You're cultivating an atmosphere that perfectly aligns with God's promise of sweet rest. As we continue this journey together, let's remember that peace is not merely an absence of turmoil. It's the presence of God actively working in our homes, hearts, and lives. With every prayer and each commitment to spiritual diligence, let's weave a rich tapestry of tranquility that blankets our lives from dusk until dawn. As we move deeper into this exploration of peace and the spiritual authority that allows us to reclaim it, let's examine practical methods to invite divine serenity into our lives.
We often feel overwhelmed by the chaos surrounding us, like an unexpected storm rolling in, relentless and oppressive. But imagine enhancing your personal fortress against that storm. How can we actively create an oasis of calm amid the genuine trials we face? Let's talk about fear. Fear has an unparalleled ability to grip our hearts and distort our perception of reality. It can lead us to believe that we are powerless, leaving us vulnerable to the turmoil that hopes to invade our sanctuary. Yet this isn't the end of the story. Remember, as Ripperger teaches, we are equipped to combat fear with authority bestowed upon us by God. By casting worries away, we affirm that they do not belong in our sacred space. What practical steps can we take to shift the tide of anxiety that seeks to overwhelm us? First, consider the role of your thoughts. Have you ever examined the patterns in your thought life? Each thought shapes your reality, and when you train your mind to focus on God's promises instead of life's challenges, you start to shift the atmosphere around you. Regular meditation on Scripture, especially verses centered on peace, can create a safe harbor. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. These words from Philippians 4:6 are not merely suggestions, but divine instructions to armor ourselves against anxiety. Integrating prayer into your daily life can become a lifeline. How often do you pause to recite these words, breathing them into your heart and letting them transform your feelings? Picture this. It's a chaotic day at work, your family is in conflict, and as you head home, anxiety begins to tighten its grip.
Instead of succumbing to these pressures, what if you took a moment in your car to recite the verse above? Inviting God into that moment allows His peace to enter your mind. It's about creating a pattern, a spiritual habit, where each anxious moment is an invitation to prayer. Let's also consider the physical environment of your home. Have you thought about how your surroundings can influence your mental state? Ripperger teaches that our spaces are not just walls and furniture. They can embody peace or chaos. Conduct a peace audit in your home. Remove clutter that weighs heavily on your spirit and replace it with things that inspire and uplift you, photographs that bring joy, warm colors that evoke calmness, and even plants that breathe life into your space. Moreover, the energy of the people with whom we share our homes can also vastly influence the atmosphere. Surround yourself with individuals who embody positivity and bring peace into your life. Engage in conversations that nurture your spirit rather than drain it. Have you ever stopped to consider how much heavier the air feels after spending time with someone negative? Protect your space by cherishing relationships that reinforce your journey toward peace and purpose. Furthermore, let's not underestimate the power of worship. In John 4:24, it's written, "God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship in spirit and truth." Connecting with God through worship invites His presence into your space. Make it a habit to play worship music that speaks to your heart, allowing its rhythm and lyrics to wash over you and dissipate the worries that cloud your mind. Picture how your family can join in this experience, creating a collective atmosphere of praise and unity that sets the tone for peace in your home. Now I ask you to reflect. What are some tangible changes you can make in your surroundings to invite peace into your home? When was the last time you transformed your environment in a meaningful way, removed negativity, and ushered in serenity? By being intentional about creating an environment ripe for peace, you're not just passive, you become an active steward of your spiritual realm. As we navigate this journey towards peace, let's remember that it's not a task to be completed or a goal to reach, but a continuous process of invitation, protection, and nurturing. Each step taken, from cultivating prayerful habits to adjusting our surroundings, contributes to a powerful transformation that aligns with God's promise of peace. With every choice we make to rid our homes of negativity, every prayer uttered in faith, and every moment of worship, we are fortifying our sanctuaries against the storms of life. We are inviting divine tranquility into our hearts, anchoring ourselves firmly to the promises of God that assure us we do not have to face the darkness alone. Together, let's continue to weave this rich tapestry of peace, allowing God to envelop us in His warmth from dusk till dawn. With every heartbeat, let us affirm that you are not merely seeking peace, you are embracing it, embodying it, and inviting it into every aspect of your existence. This resolve will guide us through the tribulations of this world, firmly planted in the unshakable foundation of God's love. The journey involves dedication, but the rewards, a life lived in peace, are well worth every effort. As we venture into this 5th chapter of our journey toward peace, I want to draw your attention to an essential aspect that often goes unnoticed: the impact of our relationships on the state of our inner peace. Think about the people who inhabit your life, your family, friends, colleagues. Are they calming influences or sources of conflict? What you may not realize is that nurturing healthy relationships and setting boundaries can be profound acts of reclaiming your inner sanctuary. We live in a world that often glamorizes busyness, relationships, and social connections without considering their nature or quality. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the pressure to maintain friendships, to engage with everyone on social media, or to fulfill every request that comes your way. But let me ask you, have you ever taken a moment to assess which of these relationships genuinely enrich your spirit? Which ones lift you closer to fulfillment, and which tend to siphon your energy, leaving you feeling drained? Ripperger teaches us about the importance of discernment in our relationships, highlighting that not all bonds are beneficial. It's essential to evaluate whether your connections are rooted in love and support, or if they instead amplify feelings of negativity and anxiety. Do you find yourself in friendships that invoke competition rather than camaraderie, or relationships that breed gossip instead of encouragement? Consider the weight of such connections. Each interaction can lead to internal unrest, preventing you from experiencing the fullness of peace God intends for you. The Bible is clear in 1 Corinthians 15:33, which states, "Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals." This verse is not just a caution, it's a guiding principle for how we can build a life infused with divine peace. What practical steps can you take to cultivate healthier relationships? Start by setting boundaries, setting limits on how much negativity you allow to invade your personal space. Don't be afraid to say no when it feels right, or to step away from conversations that evoke distress. Remember, you are protecting your sanctuary when you establish these boundaries. This is an act of love for yourself and for those who genuinely bring joy to your life. Communicate openly with those closest to you. Share your journey toward peace. Tell them how vital it is to foster an environment of positivity, urging them to join you in this commitment to mutual support. Perhaps hold a family meeting or gather your close friends for an evening centered around discussing how you can uplift one another. This shared understanding can uplift not just your spirit, but also the atmosphere in your home and community. Furthermore, remember that communication doesn't just mean speaking, it involves listening too. Take the time to understand the struggles of your loved ones genuinely. Are they experiencing battles that may affect their interactions with you? Shower them with empathy and invite them to share their burdens. As we actively engage with each other in love, we create a healing space where both parties can find respite. And let's not restrict peace building only to close relationships. Consider how your broader community can help in cultivating an atmosphere of trust and support. Are there church groups, support circles, or community activities you can participate in that promote positive interaction? Engaging with uplifting communities can serve as a revitalizing source of encouragement that gently guides you back toward peace. But remember, relationships aren't solely about what others can give to you. It also involves what you can give. Reflect on the last time you were a source of encouragement for someone. How did that experience feel? Acts of kindness tend to ripple outwards, leading to a cycle of positivity that helps establish a communal sense of peace. Small gestures, a heartfelt note, a listening ear, even a shared moment of laughter can create profound impacts that diminish internal unrest. In contemplating your circle, I urge you to ask, who do you need to reignite the bond with, and who might require a little distance? Reflect on how your life can change when your relationships are aligned with God's vision for your life, contributing to your peace rather than detracting from it. How will cultivating these Reflect on how your life can change when your relationships are aligned with God's vision for your life, contributing to your peace rather than detracting from it. How will cultivating these healthier interactions help solidify the peace we are striving for in your personal sanctuary? As we continue walking this path towards tranquility, let's not forget that it's a journey, one of active participation and nurturing ourselves and those we care about. Healing begins with intentionality and a strong commitment to our well-being. Reaffirm this within your heart. You have the authority to shape the energy around you, ensuring that it harmonizes with peace. By embracing this proactive approach, you can transform your relationships and create an atmosphere that radiates comfort both in your heart and in your home. Just as our connection to God brings us solace, may our connections with others fortify us as we face the world together. May we amplify joy, enact kindness, and walk hand in hand toward a future rich in hope and divine peace. Let's take this moment to breathe deep, close our eyes, sanctuary God desires for us, one marked by stability, tranquility, and joy. This life of peace is not just a goal, but a vibrant, lived experience. Are you ready to embrace it? As we continue our journey towards a life filled with divine peace, let's turn our attention inward. We've discussed external influences, the relationships that nourish us and those that drain us. But what about the inner turmoil we often face? Self-reflection and personal growth are essential elements in reclaiming peace within our own hearts. Have you ever taken the time to sit quietly and listen to your inner voice, that still whisper of your spirit? In our fast-paced world, it's all too easy to drown that voice with the cacophony of daily life, work stress, family demands, and the constant buzz of social media. Just pause for a moment. I encourage you to take a deep breath and think about, when was the last time you truly connected with yourself? Ripperger teaches that self-awareness is the entrance to spiritual growth. It allows us to identify the emotions and beliefs that hinder our peace. Recognizing what burdens our hearts is a stepping stone toward healing. Are there fears, guilt, or regrets that you carry? These feelings can disrupt your inner sanctuary. Acknowledging these struggles head-on enables you to invite God into those spaces, allowing Him to offer comfort and guidance. Consider journaling as a tool for this introspection. Writing down your thoughts and feelings doesn't just declutter your mind, but helps you connect deeply with God. A practice like this can lead you to uncover hidden worries and allows you to lay them before God. In Philippians 4:8, we're encouraged to focus on whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable, and excellent. This verse serves as a beautiful reminder to redirect our thoughts towards the positive, shifting our internal dialogues from discouraging to uplifting. Moreover, another powerful aspect of this internal journey is forgiveness, both of others and yourself. Have you considered how holding on to grudges or harboring guilt can weigh down your spirit, robbing you of the peace you desire? Ripperger emphasizes the necessity of releasing these bonds. Forgiveness doesn't diminish the hurt. Rather, it liberates your heart from its shackles. Imagine the freedom you can experience when you release resentment or past mistakes to God. The moment you do so, you create space for divine peace to inhabit your heart. In Colossians 20:13, it says, "Forgive as the Lord forgave you." This is a call to embody grace, allowing that same grace to flow in your life and relationships. As we hone in on cultivating peace within ourselves, I urge you to ask, what do you need to forgive? What burdens are you carrying that need to be let go? When we embrace forgiveness, we're not just freeing ourselves from the chains of the past. We are actively participating in God's all-encompassing presence. Now, let's talk about meditation and prayer. These practices are gateways to deeper self-awareness and communion with God. During prayer, openness invites Him to speak to you, providing wisdom and clarity. Have you created moments consistently for silent reflection, allowing God to drop gentle reminders of peace into your heart? Savor each moment in prayer as an opportunity for personal connection. And meditation doesn't have to be complex. It can be as simple as breathing slowly while focusing on a scripture or a phrase that brings you comfort. This connection creates a bridge to serenity, allowing God to restore those chaotic thoughts within you. As we come to the close of this segment, allow yourself to feel the powerful concept that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but a divine presence that fills us. Embrace the fight for this peace. Set aside the clutter in your heart and continuously cultivate self-reflection. Journeying toward inner peace is a beautiful and challenging process. Yet within this process, we find the capacity for growth, resilience, and through God's grace, renewal. Together, let's commit ourselves to this path, anchored in the knowledge that we have the authority to foster peace within our hearts. Let's take a moment to meditate on this truth. You were designed for peace. You are capable of experiencing profound serenity that surpasses all worldly understanding. As we strive toward this ideal, let's support each other, enhancing our journey with faith, forgiveness, and an ever-deepening connection with God. Embrace this path, for it leads to a life of joy, hope, and spirit-filled tranquility. As we embark on this 7th section of our journey toward peace, I want to emphasize the power of gratitude in nurturing our inner tranquility. Have you ever noticed how a heart filled with gratitude can alter your outlook on life? Gratitude invites us to shift our focus from what we lack to what we possess, cultivating a spirit of contentment and joy that transcends our circumstances. Ripperger teaches us that gratitude is not just a passive feeling, it's an active choice, a practice we must intentionally incorporate into our daily lives. Have you set aside moments each day to express thanks, either through prayer or reflection? Imagine starting your morning by listing 3 things you are thankful for. This simple act can ground you, reminding you of God's blessings and the abundance surrounding you. Moreover, gratitude is contagious. When we express our appreciation, we set off a domino effect, inspiring those around us to do the same. Have you noticed how a simple thank you or an acknowledgement of someone's efforts can uplift both them and you? It creates an environment rich in positivity and support, further nurturing that peaceful atmosphere we've been striving to cultivate. I encourage you to reflect. What specific things can you express gratitude for today? Is it the support of loved ones, moments of beauty you've encountered, or perhaps even lessons learned through challenges? Embracing gratitude opens our eyes to the divine hand at work in our lives, allowing us to find joy amid chaos. In closing this chapter, remember that peace is not a solitary pursuit. It is a collective journey filled with connections, reflections, and gratitude. Together, let's continue to nurture our hearts, sharing this transformative practice with one another and fostering a community where peace can thrive. Embrace gratitude, for in it lies a profound pathway to the divine serenity we seek. As we transition into this 8th segment of our journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the profound impact of stillness and silence in our quest for peace. In a world that thrives on noise and distraction, we often forget the power that quietude holds. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by the constant buzz of notifications, conversations, and the rush of daily tasks? It's easy to lose sight of the serenity that can be found in moments of stillness. Ripperger emphasizes that silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a sacred space where we can encounter God in a deeply personal way. Are you making enough room in your life for moments of silence? Just 5 minutes of intentional quiet can create a sanctuary for your spirit. In that stillness, you invite clarity, reflection, and divine connection. Let me ask you this. What might you discover about yourself and your relationship with God when you allow yourself these precious moments? Silence allows us the opportunity to hear that soft, subtle voice of God guiding us. It is in that sacred quiet that our worries can dissipate, and we are reminded of the profound truths that undergird our existence. When life feels chaotic, take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and sink into that silence. Isn't it remarkable how those moments can reset our perspectives and restore our peace? I encourage you to carve out time in your daily routine for stillness. Whether it's through meditation, taking a walk in nature, or simply sitting alone with your thoughts, these moments are critical to refilling your cup. What does your practice of stillness look like? In a world that often equates busyness with productivity, let's challenge that notion. Let's recognize the value of calm and stillness as a necessary practice for nurturing our inner peace. This is not a sign of weakness or idleness. It's a powerful step toward embracing the serenity we all seek. Together, let's reaffirm our commitment to this transformative practice of silence, for within it lies the rich soil from which peace can bloom. As we enter our 9th segment, let's deepen our exploration of how community plays a pivotal role in nurturing our peace. The connections we forge with others can either contribute to our serenity or create turbulence. Think about it.
Have you ever noticed how your mood shifts after spending time with certain people? Some individuals lift your spirit and inspire you, while others might inadvertently drain your energy. Ripperger teaches us that our social circles greatly impact our emotional and spiritual well-being. We were designed for community. We thrive in relationships that mirror God's love. It's essential for each of us to reflect on our connections. Are they life-giving or life-draining? Remember, it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Who in your life brings you peace, encouragement, and support? Who challenges you in a constructive way to grow closer to God? Consider this. When was the last time you intentionally reached out to someone in your support network? A text, a phone call, or even a handwritten note can deepen bonds that help foster tranquility.
It is through shared laughter, meaningful conversations, and compassionate listening that we cultivate a community rich in peace. These interactions don't just elevate our spirits, they also create a ripple effect in our wider communities. Have you experienced the multiplying power of kindness? A single act of support can inspire others to do the same, creating a culture of positivity. Ripperger emphasizes the importance of reinforcing our relationships, making time for those who matter most. Engaging in community activities, whether it's volunteering, attending church, or participating in study groups, helps cultivate not just personal peace, but collective tranquility. Nonetheless, we must also be mindful of relationships that may hold us back from deeper peace. Are there connections in your life that consistently bring negativity, tension, or a lack of understanding? It may be time to reassess those bonds. Sometimes creating healthy boundaries is necessary for personal growth and inner tranquility. Let's also not forget the role of forgiveness in these relationships. No community is perfect, and misunderstandings will undoubtedly occur. Ripperger highlights that forgiving others is essential in maintaining healthy, peaceful connections. When conflicts arise, are we quick to listen, to empathize, and to offer grace? A powerful way to initiate healing within your circle is by engaging in open conversations where feelings can be expressed safely. Vulnerability breeds trust, and trust fosters peace. Have you had a heart-to-heart with someone recently? Such moments can transform a relationship and lead to remarkable growth in your spiritual journey together. It's crucial to challenge ourselves. How can we actively contribute to a supportive atmosphere? What kindness can you extend today that might ripple through your community? Whether it's offering your time, your talents, or simply a listening ear, there's immeasurable value in fostering genuine connections. As we contemplate our role in community, let's also remember the importance of prayer for others. Are you lifting those in your life up in prayer? Interceding for our loved ones allows us to not only seek God's intervention in their lives, but also serves as a reminder of our interconnectedness. By praying for one another, we cultivate a spiritual bond that undergirds our relationships with peace. In closing this segment, let's embrace our shared mission of creating a loving, supportive community that fosters serenity. Remember, each act of kindness enhances our collective peace and brings us closer to God's ideal for our relationships.
So as we journey forward together, let's be mindful, intentional, and proactive in fostering connections that heal, uplift, and inspire peaceful lives. Together, we can weave a fabric of unity that reflects God's love, transforming our world into a sanctuary of peace. As we delve into the 10th segment of our journey, let's shift our focus to the vital practice of self-care. In our quest for inner peace, self-care often becomes an overlooked aspect. Have you ever felt guilty for prioritizing your own well-being over others? In a culture that celebrates selflessness, we sometimes forget that caring for ourselves is not merely an option, but a sacred responsibility. Ripperger teaches that self-care is an essential component of spiritual health. It's an acknowledgement that to be effective and supportive in our relationships, we must first nurture our own souls.
What does self-care look like for you? Is it taking a walk in nature, engaging in a hobby you love, or simply allowing yourself a few quiet moments to recharge? In the midst of our busy lives, we must carve out space for activities that renew our spirits and invite God's grace into our routines. Reflection is another crucial aspect of self-care. Have you taken time to assess your emotional and spiritual needs lately? Journaling, meditating, or even having a spiritual mentor can help clarify what you need to nurture your inner peace. When was the last time you asked yourself what truly brings you joy and fulfillment? Understanding your own needs is the first step toward healing and growth. As we consider self-care, it's also essential to recognize the role of rest. Ripperger emphasizes that rest is not laziness.
It is an act of faith, trusting that God will handle the world while we rejuvenate. Are you giving yourself permission to rest? Our society often equates busyness with productivity, but remember that even God rested on the seventh day. How can you incorporate rest into your life without feeling guilty? In this fast-paced world, intentional self-care allows us to approach our lives and relationships with renewed energy and clarity. By caring for ourselves, we equip ourselves to be more present, patient, and loving towards others. So as we prepare to move forward, let's commit to prioritizing our own well-being as a pathway to experiencing the fullness of God's peace. Take a moment this week to identify what self-care practices resonate with you. Will you choose to embrace them? Remember, self-care nurtures not just you, but your entire community as well.
Together, let's foster an atmosphere where taking care of oneself is celebrated, recognizing that this pursuit brings us closer to God's design for a peaceful and purposeful life. As we step into our 11th segment, I want to highlight the transformative power of hope in our journey toward inner peace. In challenging times, hope acts as a beacon, guiding us through the darkness. Have you ever experienced a moment when hope felt like a distant memory? It's in those moments that we must remind ourselves, as Ripperger teaches, that hope is not merely wishful thinking. It is a profound trust in God's promises. Hope emboldens us to rise above our circumstances. Are you cultivating hope in your life? When faced with difficulties, be it personal struggles, family pressures, or societal stresses, hope encourages us to look beyond our present situation.
It whispers to us that God is still at work and that His plans for us are rooted in love and goodness. Reflect on this. Where do you find hope when faced with obstacles? Is it through prayer, scripture, or the support of others? Hope thrives in relationships. Surrounding ourselves with individuals who foster a hopeful outlook can significantly impact our mental and spiritual well-being. Have you taken a moment to assess who in your life embodies hope? These people can help remind us that we are never alone in our struggles. Their presence can inspire us to push through, reminding us of the light that exists even in the most challenging times. Let's also consider the importance of sharing our hope with others. Ripperger emphasizes that acknowledging God's work in our lives not only fortifies our spirit, but also inspires those around us.
How can you share the hope you carry with your community? Perhaps it's through a testimony, an act of kindness, or simply through the encouragement you provide to a friend in need. Each interaction has the potential to uplift and inspire more than we realize. As we contemplate hope, let's remember that it is often born out of trials. Our struggles, when surrendered to God, can transform into powerful testimonies of His grace and faithfulness. What challenges have you faced that could serve as a testament to hope in your life? Reflecting on these can propel you forward, reminding you that every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. In closing this segment, let's embrace hope as an integral force in our pursuit of peace. Together, let's commit to not only fostering hope within ourselves, but also sharing it abundantly with those around us.
In times of uncertainty, may we be the light that inspires others to trust in God's promises and experience the peace that surpasses all understanding. Through hope, we can create a ripple effect that fosters a community grounded in faith, love, and resilience. As we arrive at our final segment, let's explore the transformative power of gratitude. Ripperger teaches us that gratitude is not just a fleeting emotion, but a profound discipline to practice. Have you taken a moment to reflect on the blessings in your life, both big and small? In a society often focused on lack and dissatisfaction, intentionally practicing gratitude can shift our perspective and enhance our inner peace. Gratitude grounds us in the present, allowing us to appreciate what we have. What simple joys bring you happiness? Maybe it's a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or the beauty of nature.
When we consciously acknowledge these moments, we open our hearts to joy, creating a reservoir of peace amidst life's chaos. This practice also enriches our relationships. Expressing appreciation to others can deepen connections and foster a sense of community. How often do you pause to thank someone who has positively impacted your life? Each act of gratitude not only uplifts those around us, but also strengthens the bonds we share.
By shifting our focus to the lessons learned, we uncover the beauty hidden within our challenges. As we conclude, let's commit to nurturing a spirit of gratitude. This practice will not only transform our hearts, but also foster a community centered in appreciation and love. Together, let's illuminate the world around us with gratitude, experiencing the peace that comes from genuinely recognizing and celebrating God's blessings. Through gratitude, we'll cultivate an atmosphere of faith, hope, and resilience, inviting others to join us in this transformative journey.